Olandria said that it's going to take one bad bitch to come up in here and rip Taylor from her. Well, Clark must be a bad bitch because she definitely playing snatchies. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl MovieBae, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a review to Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 22. It was never you, sis. Respectfully, with love, it was never you. But before we get to it, I would like for you all to consider hitting the subscribe button if you're new. Here at MovieBae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television, and if that's the type of content you like, then you are in the right place, especially when it comes to Love Island, because I do episodic reviews and weekly lives where we could talk about the tea inside and outside of the villa. So if that's something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notification bell so you can be alerted every time I post. And I would like to thank y'all once again for running up the views, running up the likes, running up the comment section. I really appreciate y'all. So if y'all find yourself enjoying the commentary, give the video a thumbs up, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and I'm gonna meet y'all down there so we can talk about this episode. All right, now without further ado, Nick and Olandria fans, y'all okay? Nick and Olandria fans, are y'all okay? Y'all good? Are y'all good? Y'all need some milk? Nah, let's get into the Casa though. Let's get to the Casa girls real quick because Huda pissed me off. I know I haven't said that in like a few episodes, but Huda really pissed me off, okay? So after the little, Casa versus Villa challenge, Huda and JD, they go debrief on the couch or whatever. And he's like joking around with her, being a little passive aggressive, but he's saying, like, you messed that challenge up because you just like to be dominant and I don't like to be dominated. And he just kept saying that she tried to take control, and she was like, I had to take control because you didn't know what you were doing. Typical Huda-ish, right? So once again, she's not letting the man be a man. I'm just saying, she's not letting the man be a man. He's supposed to lead, he's trying to lead, but yet you want to dominate. So she got offended and she was like, well, go find somebody submissive. And he tried to like laugh it off or what have you, but she said, good chat, and got up and walked away from him. I said, oh, she was looking for a reason. She told the girls, y'all would be so proud of me. It took so much for me just to shut the fuck up. I was like, you just needed a reason because you wasn't interested in him in the first place. But thank you for, I guess, not calling him a B or a PAB. Growth, I suppose. Production must have talked to Huda. So now that Huda no longer has her connection with JD, she decides that she's gonna go talk to Chris. Yes, Shelly's Chris. So she has a little talk with him, saying, that she was attracted to him, but she never really wanted to like approach him because she knew that he liked Shelly. And so I'm thinking, so why approach him now? It's day 3, 4, and now you want to talk to him? You should have talked to him on day 1, day 2, before they actually started like growing some type of bond, some type of connection. But okay, that's because you don't have any more options. So after their conversation or what have you, she tells Shelly that Chris is interested in her. She said that he is expressing interest in me. That's not how that conversation went. That conversation, he said that he didn't expect to vibe with her, but of course she's beautiful because obviously, and he didn't expect to vibe with her. And he said that he is in a weird position. Unless it was edited out, here goes Huda making up her Huda lies and running off with it. Now, when she tells Shelly this, Shelly was like, you know what? You should do that. You should explore that. And that from that moment on, I knew that Shelly was going to choose Ace. I knew it. Huda did that. Huda sabotaged that connection because she no longer had one and she didn't want to be up for elimination. So let's go ahead and get over to JD and Amaya. Now, like I said, because JD and Huda fell out, JD is doing a little bit more to express his interest in Amaya. Now, we all know that Amaya was interested in JD as well. They have had conversations, but today he made her breakfast. And then, they have a little conversation, whatever, but Amaya does reassure Zach that her connection with him is stronger. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and go over to the villa. And y'all know most of this is going to be Nick, Alandria, Taylor, and Clark. But let's talk about Pepe and Grayson, because Pepe, nobody has been getting screen time. I guess if you don't have an interesting storyline, they're not even going to put you on the TV screen. But today we got a little bit of Pepe and Grayson. And y'all know Pepe love his white girls. So they vibing, they getting along, they hitting it off. And he said that he wants to take it slow. Okay, and I honestly feel like that's out of respect for Hannah, because I really do think Pepe F with Hannah for real. Ace and Coco have a conversation, and he kind of started like opening up with her, talking about how he's been hurt before. And then he also states like in his confessional, I don't know if it was in his confessional or if he was talking to Taylor and them, but he was like, he misses Shelly, but he loves Coco. He loves her confident. She is his type on paper. That's what Ace said. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get into the main drama. Nick and Olandria fans. Now I'm seeing on TikTok, people talk about, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. It never happened. Y'all trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen. Like we told y'all, bro. We told y'all, especially on Olandria end. I knew she wasn't. No. And then on Nick end, I knew it was just a crush, infatuation. Like y'all really thought that was gonna be something. Are y'all okay? Okay. But anyways, Nick and Alandria, they decide that after they shared their kissing soul ties, that it's better just to be mutual. Both of them felt guilty, and neither one of them felt a spark. Makes sense to me. I knew it wasn't going to be there, but hey, producers say, you know what? America's been wanting it. Let's give it to them, and that's a way for us to save these two OGs. All right, boom. So Nick also talks to Alandria about how, the irony of him wanting to test he and Sierra's connection, but he's at the butt end of that test, and now he's feeling, humbled in a sense. And yes, Nick, this is your chance to wake the fuck up and stop playing in my girl face, because Sierra is a whole catch out here. Now, I don't know the girl personally, but from what I'm seeing on the TV screen, what's not to love? What's not to love about my girl Cece? All right. And then, of course, Olandria expresses how it is hard for her to see Taylor and Clark together. No tea, no shade, but I'm seeing Taylor with Clark a whole lot more than I'm seeing him with Olandria, for him to be exploring both connections. So with that being said, Clark decides to pull Olandria for a chat. And I was like, what do y'all think about Clark pulling Olandria for a chat? Do you feel like it was needed? Clark did say it was overdue. I did feel like they both needed to talk, because most times guys ain't gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? If I talk to you, you can tell me what he's saying to you, and I can tell you what he's saying to me, and then we can see if he's playing or if he really being honest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with Clark pulling Olandria for a chat. And honestly, if I was Olandria, I probably would have pulled Clark for a chat, because I'm nosy. I need to see what's really going on for real. I need to see what's really going on for real. But Olandria, like, she told Taylor, she was like, I didn't feel a need to pull her for a chat. You should have. Ooh, child, you should have. All right, so Clark pulls Olandria for a chat. She said that it's, well overdue. And she said it's really, awkward, because Olandria's strongest connection is her strongest connection. And she wants to be respectful, but also not do a disservice to herself. And I was like, very nice, Clark, very nice. Because it's like, I want to explore Taylor, but I want to make sure that it's respectful. Because as a woman, I hate when people say that, but as a woman, we've all been here before in some form or fashion. And it's like, you don't want to like be disrespectful and rub it in somebody else's face. You know what I'm saying? That, I got your man, or you know what I'm saying? No respectable woman would. So I appreciate Clark for not, just being up in Olandria face with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you said, I don't want to do myself a disservice. So most of this conversation and Olandria's conversation with Taylor, we'll get to that later, is all about how she says that Clark and Taylor's connection started very physical very early. And Olandria's like, she's like making a comparison. She was like, we had time to grow so we could get there. And I feel like y'all just had to jump in because, you've only had 3 days. And Clark is kind of thinking like, our connection is more than physical, but I felt like Clark didn't know how to vocalize that without, being argumentative. You know what I'm saying? Because it was all in Clark's face and her sighs. She sighs a lot. Clark sighs a lot. When I feel like she wants to say something, but doesn't want to say it. She got something to say, but she don't want to say it. Make sense? So, yeah, Olandria just keep blaming it on the time frame. Like, we had a chance to grow and become physical, but I don't blame you because I know y'all only had 2-3 days. And so, like I said, it's like she's kind of like trying to like diminish their connection down to just the fact that they're able to be physical early on. And Olandria is also saying that she considers this Clark is a way to test their connection. And in Clark's confessional, she was like, her and Taylor's connection is real, and she sure hopes that it's not a test, considered a test to her, and she doesn't like that Alandria keeps calling it a test. And I was like, well, say it with your chest, Clark. Say it with your chest, respectfully, because we ain't about to argue over Taylor. Hell no. But say what you mean and mean what you say. You know what I'm saying? And Olandria says, she's not going to stop pursuing Taylor just because he's coupled up with Clark. And Clark was like, well, of course not. Do your thing, girl. Woo, that was, baby. I think like the recoupling and this conversation had me on the edge of my seat, like, ooh, this is juicy. But Clark definitely held back a lot of what I felt like she wanted to say. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go over to Alandria and Taylor, because they also have a conversation about it. She tells Taylor that she and Nick kissed in Soul Ties, but they decided like there was no spark there. They're just going to be platonic. And Taylor is comparing Alandria to Clark, not specifically, but he says, that y'all are similar. And then of course Alandria doesn't like that. Like, don't compare me to no other bitch. Like, the fuck wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, when you got to make a choice, you got to do your pros and cons list. What do I like about this person? What do I like about this person? You know what I'm saying? So some of those things might be similar, So Olandria once again brings up the physical connection, and Taylor's like, okay, like you keep saying that like we in the bed having sex or something, and she's like, no, I'm talking about just touching and kissing, and I'm like, Olandria, touching like what? Touching like a hug, touching like holding hands, touching like rubbing their back, rubbing their leg. I don't know. Maybe I could be considered a slow burn, but most of the guys that I talk, like all of the guys I talk to, it was more so like they were waiting on me to respect my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? But after you opened up your boundaries for Taylor, and where you started coaching him on what you wanted and what you needed, and he still didn't give you that, that's when you should have known. I'm just saying. Because even now, y'all still not touchy-feely. Okay. All right. Even with Clark and Taylor there, they are touching more than Clark and Olandria. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just like, I just feel so bad for Olandria. I guess I'm gonna wait till I get to the end. So yeah, and then like I stated, like she said, it's gonna take one bad bitch to come up in here and rip Taylor from her, because she feels like what they have is so strong and it compares to nobody else. What they have is one of a kind. And I said, oh, my poor baby. Oh my Sheila. That's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. She also goes in the photo booth and takes some sexy pictures for him, kisses the back of it, and leaves it in his little clothing trunk or what have you. He finds it, and they're like, oh, she playing offense now. Like she trying to make sure she got you clink. Said she wanted to put his head up a little bit. Poor Alandria. Now, before the recoupling, though, Taylor does tell Alandria that he is torn between the two. I like the fact that he was honest. Like, he said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she was like, well, it was always you. It always will be you. And I've never fought so hard for something in my life. I was like, girl, stand up. Stand the up. I told y'all this one time on one of my lives, my little story time, about the time where I talked to a guy and he was open with me and he was like, hey, I'm talking to you and I'm talking to somebody else and I really like both of y'all and I don't know what I want to do, who I want to choose. And when I told y'all that I told him to choose her, because if it's even an option, dude, fuck, I've never fought for somebody. Fight? What? Oh no. Choose her. Choose her every time. Please do. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into these recouplings. Now, first and foremost, y'all know they brought the Casa girls and their couples. They brought the Villa boys out one by one with their couple. And all the girls are like, oh my God, well, who went home? Taylor, Nick, or Ace? Taylor, Nick, or Ace? So they found out that Nick went home, and of course, Sierra started crying, boo-hooing, bawling, and then here go Ariana. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We have one more couple. And Nick and Olandria come in. Okay. Now, with that being stated, peep how Sierra ran to her man first. Taylor ran to Nick first instead of Olandria. Sierra ran to Nick first and then said, "Oh yeah, boo, hey." Because when you really like somebody, okay. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. And immediately when Sierra got up, ran to Nick and gave him a hug, a warm embrace, and a kiss, Elan said, "Oh yeah, bro." I don't even stand a chance. Even Zach got up. He was like, "Ah, damn, bro." Everybody got up and started consoling Elan because it was like, "Yeah, bro, it's around for you, baby." Now, production. This would have been so cute if everybody thought that Olandria and Nick had left, and then everybody found out at the same time that they did not leave. And I mean everybody. I mean the boys, the girls, and the audience. If y'all would have made it appear like Nick and Alandria had really left, and then they would have came out during these couplings, we would have all been gobsmacked. Then y'all could have done a little flashback to them having their little date and saying that they could join the villa as a couple. You know what I'm saying? Boom, join the villa as a couple. And then everybody was like, "Oh my God, they're still in that game. Woo, woo, woo." And then, yeah, that means y'all can't couple up with Olandria and them. You can't. So Olandria and Nick and Sierra and Taylor, they're going to have to stay in their new couples until the next new recoupling. That way, it could be messy on both ends. We could see Nick sweat and we could see Olandria sweat. Matter of fact, y'all could just do movie night right afterwards. That way, when not even Nick and Alandria don't even come back as a couple. They just come back. They still in the game. Boom. Now you gotta choose. So that way, when Taylor chooses Clark, Alandria could be like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? And then on movie night, it'll make sense. We probably would have got a crash out. We probably would have got a real crash out from Alandria. I'm just saying, production, I see what y'all tried to do, but y'all could have done it better. I can say on my resume if y'all looking for it. Okay, but anyways, let's talk about these recouplings. Okay, so Sierra and Nick. Nick, you better step your cookies up. Matter of fact, I don't want to start up there. I just looked at the top row. We need to start at the bottom. Yeah, okay, so who I'm gonna start with? Okay, Iris and TJ. I'm happy for Iris and TJ. Of course, TJ was not gonna choose, "Do you want to play a game?" Like, he was not gonna choose her. So sorry, not sorry. I like Iris and TJ. I do. They're my white couple that I'm rooting for. Adrina and Brian. They look so good together. Yay. Grayson and Pepe. Of course. Jaden and Austin. Sure. Amaya chose Zach, even though JD stood up for her. Nice. Shelly and Ace. Ace chose Shelly over Coco, and I said, of course he did. You want to know why? Because he got to stick to the game plan. But joke's on you, Ace. We're not voting for you, boo. We're not voting for you. No. And then, you know how they had the boys, like, okay, so if it's Ace standing up there, it's like, if you wrote Ace's name down, come up to the circle. Okay, now if you wrote one of these girls' names down, come up to the circle. When Chris didn't step up for Shelly, I said, he playing the game. I knew he was playing the game because I feel like he knew Shelly was going to choose Ace. So let me choose Huda. She's expressed some interest in me. Let me stay in the game. I don't think he really... But, you know, let me stay in the game, right? So, yeah, Chris and Huda, like I said, Huda sabotaged that. Not a girl's girl, if you ask me. Not a girl's girl. Sierra and Nick. Sierra did not choose Elon. She chose Nick. Like I said, when they had their warm embrace, when they walked up in here, you know what I'm saying? That's still the deal. We already knew what Sierra was going to do. Nick, this is your last chance to step it up. This is my number one couple. If I had to vote today, I will vote for Nick and Sierra. Nick, don't you play in my girl face. If they bring some more bombshells in here, don't play in my girl face. All right. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Taylor making his decision between Clark and Olandria. He chooses Clark. And all of the Villa girls, they really upset me. The OG girls, they upset me. Here go Amaya. Taylor. Amaya, shut the hell up. Because one, you can't reprimand that man for who he like. That's number one. Number two, you're making it worse. If I was Olandria, but like, chill. Like, you making it worse. You making me look bad, bitch. And then I think Adrina said something. I think Huda said something. It's like, y'all, chill. Y'all doing too much. I feel like if Olandria was, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all could have been, you know what I'm saying? But like, y'all, it wasn't even that type of party. Like, calm down. Relax. So then after that, Ariana says that they get to save one boy and one girl because now they have JD, Zaxi, Elon, and then they have Vanna, Coco, and Olandria. Ooh, how I forget Olandria was there, child. But here's the twist, because I was like, oh yeah, Olandria is getting saved. No. So the Villa got to save the girl and Casa got to save the boy. Because if Casa was saving, they would have saved Alandria hands down. So I was like, ooh, now I don't know who's going to go home. Oh my God. So it really was a nail biter. But they decided to save Elon. And Ace looked at Nick like, ooh, Nick, you got some competition, Nick. Because Sierra's connection is going to still be in the house. Out of the guys, I'm happy they chose Elon. I did feel like he just had a little more personality than the other guys. And please get JD off my screen, please. And then when it came to the Villa, they decided to choose. First off, let's talk about the deliberation. Nick said, no offense, Coco. No offense, Clark. But like, I feel like if we save Olandria and Taylor changes his mind, Olandria will still be here. Change his mind. I would be like, don't speak anymore, please. Not if he changed his mind. That was funny. Like, no disrespect. That was funny to me, y'all. That was funny. Who was Taylor talking about? Like, he said, after I partnered up with Clark, she tried to shoot her shot at me. So if she stays, she might try to pursue me. Who was he talking about? Coco? Who was he talking about? Because you chose Coco first, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. But they decided to save Olandria. You guys, let me talk about this real quick. And don't shoot me. But I kind of wanted them to save Coco. Only because I am sick of Olandria getting embarrassed. I am sick of Olandria getting dragged through the mud. I'm sick of the humiliation ritual. I am just sick of her having egg on her face. I'm sick of Olandria being embarrassed like this. I really am. And if I was Olandria, send me home. Because like, I don't want to see him and her every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that at all. I hope they bring some more bombshells in here, because the rest of her storyline gonna be trying to fight to get Taylor back. Like, no, I'm not here for that. But I am happy that she's here, so we can do movie night. So that way you could finally see this footage of Taylor talking about you. And hopefully with that, if this wasn't enough, hopefully with that, you can finally let him go. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Taylor cannot, like, I feel like he ain't got no game. Like, I feel like, bro, you can't even kiss. So I know you can't. You ain't got no motion in that ocean. I know you don't, bro. I know you don't. You can't. It's impossible. Well, this was a quick review, I feel like, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Y'all know on Saturdays we usually go live. Saturday, I may or may not be available. So make sure y'all turn the post notifications on, because if I do, it'll be more so like at night. It'll be like 7, maybe 8, you know what I'm saying? Central time. If I'm not available on Saturday, then it will be Sunday early afternoon, like 12 or 1 o'clock. So just turn on the post notification bells so y'all can be alerted when I do post. I'm of course, like, share it ahead of time, and then y'all can turn the notifications on so y'all can be there, and we could talk about week 4 What week is this? 4 or 5? So we talk about the week. Okay, we talk about the tea, the Jeremiah interviews, so on and so forth. All right, so make sure y'all thumbs up the video, especially if you enjoyed the commentary. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'll meet y'all there now so we can talk about it. And of course, if you're new, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Okay, do y'all watch Squid Game? I just finished Squid Game season 3. I'm sorry, it's too soon. I'm about to cry. I just finished Squid Game season 3, so I'm gonna drop my review on that probably Sunday because I gotta rewatch it again, you know, this time in English because I like to do the subtitles. Okay, now I'm just rambling. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit subscribe. Stay tuned. I'll see y'all later. Bye.